Last time we left off with Rokas and ICU. Um, what do you two remember about your adventure last time?
We went through the scar. We had spent the night at a sleazy inn,
It
and
wasn't too sleazy, it was more tacky, I would say.
well, I had gruel and water. No, couldn't even get a mug of ale.
That was pretty bad.
Then we helped some kids and a cheesemaker straighten things out. Um, so we have a cheesemaker that we've made contact with, and two orphan kids. Um, think we're going to end up setting up our tent in the is it Freeland district?
Yeah, it depends on what you guys just to remind you, depending on where you sleep and stuff affects your your appearance level. So,
Sure.
depends what you want to do the next day. You might want to change your mind on where you're staying, depending
Okay.
on what you're planning to do the next day.
Okay. Anyhow, we went to the city. Uh, stopped in at the provision place. I don't remember if we bought rations. Um, we went past. Um, I'm trying to remember what it was called. The Glowing Anvil. We went in and they looked at our staffs, and then we um, headed up to the Lake District.
Yeah,
I forget what.
that's good enough. You don't have to go through everything in super detail. But yeah, you explored around. You met a few NPCs, made friends with some people. Harbek had a more uh he was doing his lordly business around, not meeting with common peasants like you guys.
Yes,
Uh,
me lord.
so Harbek, you stayed in the Driftwood Tavern, and then um you met with the captain of the guard. What do you remember about that stuff?
He was less than helpful. My nose is out of joint because of the shabby way he treated me. But then I met Heidi, who was apparently, I didn't realize it at the time, but is apparently with the church rather than with the guard. So I have no idea what she was doing there. I'll have to find out about that. And then so I finally met the head master there, and I apologized for not taking care of the wizard like I should have, and having them have to go do it. So I asked if there was something I could do to atone for that, and he suggested I take up the murder mystery thing. So I got a little bit of information from him. It looks like I need to go to the morgue, and I asked for someone to go with me to the morgue, and he gave me Harold. And so I guess Harold and I are getting ready to go to the morgue.
Yeah, I think we stopped with Rokus last time, so we'll start with Harbek this time. Um,
Okay.
I think I did say you were like stepping out of the church and on your way over, but I wanted to do one last thing at the church. Um, Harold suggests that you just he says if you come and sign in with our ledgers and stuff, we can put you on as the official law enforcement, um just for our records.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, and then he gives you a specific badge that the Church of Tyr wears in Neverwinter.
Okay.
So you have that that if you want to show that you're working with the church here, that kind of also will give you that'll let people know that the Neverwinter Guard also, they will know that you're
Right.
dealing with cases and stuff, so they might treat you slightly differently with that.
Okay. What rank does that give me? In other words, if I
It doesn't really affect your rank. It's more like you're just kind of signing in at this city that you're kind of on
okay,
duty. You're on duty.
right. If I'm on duty. Am I like a private, sergeant, captain of the guard? I mean, what? That's what I meant by rank.
Yeah. I don't have a ranking system laid out really. The paladins kind of have their own ranking, and the clerics have their own
Right,
ranking.
but no, I meant in terms of the badge. When you, in other words, the badge says I'm a. There's a big difference between if I meet somebody,
Yeah.
do I have authority over them or do they have authority over me?
So this is sort of, so I guess Harold would explain this to you, that there's kind of a tenuous situation between the guard and the Church of Tyr, because
Right?
your ranking, you don't really overrank each other at all. So you're kind of they end up, if there's some kind of dispute, they kind of end up butting heads sometimes. Um,
Okay.
and he says that he doesn't think the Neverwinter Guard um really like dealing with the Church of Tyr, but
Okay.
that the Church of Tyr is also kind of indispensable in helping out, so they have to work with them.
Okay. Now, what about within the church? In other words, let's say I order Harold to do something. Does he have to do it?
I would say, yeah, Harold is under your rank. Within reason, he would follow your order. He would
Okay.
be like, yeah, supposed to follow your orders. As for
Okay.
Heidi, you kind of have more experience than her, but you're at the same rank pretty much.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, it's a lot of that stuff might not come up. I don't have a big system in play for that, so.
Okay.
But yeah, so Harbek knows he can kind of be on equal footing with the guards now, with the badge, and that, yeah, you can order around. If you see some priests of Tyr, they would be lower than you.
Okay.
Yeah, but
All right. But
and
the captain would be above me. He could if I told
the
him to do
captain
something.
is, so that's the thing, is he's in a separate organization, so he's not really um he can't order you to do anything, and you can't really order him around.
Okay.
I don't know if this is accurate, but in movies, when the FBI and the local police are doing things, they kind of have the, like,
Yeah.
this kind
Yeah.
of organization, the kind of butting heads thing. I don't know if
All
that's
right.
accurate to real life, but
Gotcha.
Little bit.
you might
Yeah.
might imagine it that way.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay, so Harold has taken you out at this point, and you're walking towards the um Never Death graveyard.
Okay.
The road takes you past Neverember Villa and into the Pauper's graveyard. There's a gate on the north side of that one.
Yeah.
And as you enter, you find the crematorium and morgue in there.
Oh, wait a minute now. On my way there.
Yes, if you want to do something,
Okay.
you can.
Yeah, there's a Demetrius's general store is sort of on the way, a little bit out of the way, but not much.
Yeah, okay. You
I would
can go
like to
down
go
there.
there. Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember if we said the exact time, but I think it's afternoon at this point. Not.
Day 33 of summer.
Yep, that's right. Okay, so you're heading into Demetrius. Is
Right.
that's right?
And
Okay.
can I talk to Harold? Can I talk to Harold while we're walking to the store?
Sure. What do you want to ask or say?
Okay. 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 So first thing I'm going to ask Harold is I had there was a cleric named Adric that I think came through here a while back. Do you by any chance know him?
A cleric named Adric.
Yeah.
So out of game, I don't. Is this a character that we had? I don't remember that.
All right. This is a character. He is a friend of mine who I knew in college,
Oh,
who's
okay.
definitely that I had a friend with.
Okay.
But he's in the he's with the Tyr people, Church of Tyr, and I got him because he was my friend. I boosted him up in terms of his. He got into the guards due to my.
Yeah, cool. I have that in a separate document, that your backstory stuff. So I hadn't
Right,
looked at
so
it
he's part
recently.
of my backstory.
Yeah.
So he
Adric.
might or might not.
So Harold is not familiar with Adric.
Okay.
He, I think Harbek would know that Understar is a very uh can't think of the word right now, but like isolated, sort
Right.
of
Remote.
xenophobic, sort
Okay.
of, I don't know, I'm thinking of like Imperial Japan, like they
Right.
stick to
Well,
themselves kind of. So
well, well. Adric's with the church, so I figured if the church was there, Adric might have, because he's with the guard, so he might have. I know he's traveling around a lot. I was just checking to see if he'd been there.
okay, yeah. I didn't have anything specific about Adric leaving Understar in my notes, so I'll just say for
Yeah.
now, yeah, he hasn't been
And he
to
didn't.
he
Then he's
hasn't been
never
to
been there. I was just
Neverwinter yet.
asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
Harold's
I was
not
just
familiar
checking.
with it.
Right.
Okay,
Okay. And
cool question though.
my next, what can you tell me about Chasm Rift?
The rift in the Freeland district.
Yeah.
He just tells you there was a big disaster that involved a fire elemental living in a volcano that ripped a big hole across the city. After that, there were there was like a monster invasion out of the rift. Um, and between all these natural disasters and monsters, most of the city was destroyed, and in the past 50 years has been rebuilt. And the chasm has been magically paved over, basically, using Lord Neverember paid a lot of money to wizards to get them to seal up the chasm. So it's like a perfectly smooth piece of stone, basically, covering the whole thing, and sort of warded against monsters so that it won't happen again.
Didn't the monsters come out close to where the morgue is?
Uh, it is sort of nearby, yeah.
Okay. Okay, now
Um,
my next.
there was, I think it was. This is stuff from the official D&D stuff, so I'm not super familiar with it. But I think there was also a separate thing where the dead were raised from the graveyard and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but most of this
Those.
stuff is kind of dealt with now at this point. So
Okay.
it's probably not gonna have a big influence on what's going on now. But
Okay.
it lets you know why the city was so messed up, that they're kind
Right.
of
Right.
rebuilding everything.
So I don't. So the murders don't necessarily have anything to do with that then.
Yeah, this case started in the about 6 weeks ago,
Right.
and yeah, the most of the stuff with the monsters was done with at least like 30 years ago, I think.
Right. Well,
So
I'm just worried about somebody wanting to stick around with the shield. That's all. That's a possibility.
you said with the shield.
Yeah.
All right, what do you mean by that?
Okay. The flat thing that's keeping the monsters
Oh,
from
okay.
coming back out.
Yeah, we call that. So that area is called the scar now.
Okay. So there would be nobody that's interested in trying to reopen the scar or communicate with the people on the other side of the scar.
Um, there could be people who are interested in that.
Well, that's what I'm asking Harold. What do you when I say
Harold
what can you?
Harold seems intrigued by your ideas, but he doesn't have any useful information to
Okay.
give you about that.
Okay, so he doesn't know of a group of people or person or anything
Yeah,
like that that would be
yeah.
interested.
He says I'm not familiar with any current uh factions or anything that are trying to reopen it.
Okay. And then my last question to him is, how did Heidi know to meet me when nobody had sent any messages about my coming to the gate?
He says, I believe that the Neverwinter Guard um informed the Hall of Justice that a paladin had arrived, and I think Heidi contacted the Neverwinter Guard to find out what was going on with that. I think yeah, because there were guards you met at the gate when you entered the city, and some priests there.
Yes. Okay. So
So
probably
she took an interest in you.
right. I was just curious I realized I was just curious how she found out about me to begin with when the guards were too damn lazy to send anybody to say I'm coming along.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we get to the store,
Yeah.
and okay, I would like to purchase regular paper, tracing paper, and a pen.
All right. Do you have the prices on that pulled up?
Oh,
Okay. I will look in the player's handbook, but the prices here are standard prices, so they'll be the same as the book. One sheet of paper is 2 silver. One sheet of parchment is 1 silver.
paper, pen, and tracing. Okay.
I think
You say can I
parchment
get
is
vellum?
thinner, so let's use the pricing for that for tracing.
Okay. Vellum is really really thin parchment that would make very good tracing paper. And
Yeah, they don't
you're
have that specifically, but we'll use we'll say you can get that for 1 silver.
oh wait a minute. Do you have the wizard books?
What's that?
You have the books that wizards are supposed to carry around?
Spell books?
Yeah.
Uh yeah, in the they do have it in the adventuring gear. Let's see.
Because the
So
pages of those books are vellum, so why wouldn't you have vellum at your store?
oh, it's just not listed in the thing. So, but it's fine. We can. I think parchment. We'll just use the 1 silver for parchment as the
Okay.
vellum price.
Okay, and what was the paper?
2
2
silver
silver.
for paper.
And what about the pen?
Hold on. They don't have a standard pen. Ink. Oh, here's one. Ink pen. Ink pen for 2 copper.
Okay.
And you can get ink 1 ounce bottle for 10 gold.
Okay. I already have some ink, so where I can use the paint, so that's okay. Okay, so I give him 3 silver and 2 coppers then.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay.
And
Okay, so now
so the guy at the store, he introduces himself and gives you the same spiel he did with Rokas, saying like, just don't forget, we're open day and night if you need to come back.
okay, now I do have one other question. How much is a map of the city?
Here is 5 gold.
Thank you. I just wanted the information. I don't want the map.
Okay. If you need a map though, we'll happily get you one.
Thank you very much.
All right. So you're gonna leave.
Yep, and we're
Okay.
gonna go to the morgue.
He bids you good day, and you guys leave from Dimitri's, walk up the road near the wall, and turn around to the gate and enter in the north of the Pauper's graveyard section, and you come to the morgue buildings there.
And now, are they part of the guard station there, or are they separate?
Um, it's there's not really. I guess yeah. There's guards at this gate. Yeah. But when you go inside, it's a separate building.
Gotcha.
And the morgue is, because it's the morgue and all dealing with the dead is kind of something that it's not like in real life where the dead stay dead. So that is actually under the Church of Tears control.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
when you go in there, you'll be dealing with someone working with the church, not the Neverwinter guard.
Good information to know.
Okay.
Okay.
So you enter in. You are directed to a person named Chadley. He is a priest of Tyr, but he's working as a coroner, basically.
Okay.
So his name is Chadley Saris. So he introduces himself politely. He says, "Good day, my lord. Are you here? I'm guessing that they might have sent you over about the serial murders."
You are correct. They said you would have information about it. And
Yes,
and there's still one body that has not been cremated.
that is correct. And I will happily share the records with you of the past victims.
Okay. So, what can you tell me about each of the victims?
Okay, so he motions for Harold to come over, and he says, "All right, please make a copy of these records for sorry, my lord, what I was rude. I didn't ask your name." My lord?
I am Harbek, and I go. Okay, I am Harbek, but I am going right now as a paladin, not in my. So you may dispense with my royal title.
Ah, I see. All right, Paladin Harbek. Um,
Yes.
let's see. So Harold, I want you to make a copy of my notes, but I'll go over them for you, Paladin Harbek. The first victim was a human male. By the way, Harvey, out of game, I'm gonna copy and paste this stuff to you after I'm done going over it. So you don't need to
So I
take
don't have to write it down.
You don't have to write down everything I'm saying right now.
Okay, good.
Okay, so details of the victims. First victim was a human male. The body was found in an alley in the Protector's Enclave near Arcane Alley. which is a magic shop. The body was not identified. The corpse had no items on him and no clothes other than underclothes. He was dead for about half a day when he was found in the afternoon. So it seems that he was killed during the night. Body was severely mutilated with the face cut off, many lacerations and burns. The date he was found was the season of spring, day 89. Second victim was identified as a woman named Holly, a human female. She was identified by a friend named Una.
So her face was still there then?
Yeah. She was significantly less cut up compared to the first victim. But the reason we guessed that they were tied was the brand mark of the symbol of Tyr and other similar aspects. Holly, the body of Holly was identified by her friend Una, who works at the Big Tavern in the Freeland district. Holly was known to be a con artist who took advantage of drunk men. And she frequented the Big Tavern. She was found in the morning between some boxes behind the Big Tap on Summer 4. Third victim was Janelle, a half-elf female, identified by Terrence Goodson, priest of Ilmater. Janelle had been staying at the Haven for about a week, which is like a homeless shelter, basically. The body was found in the afternoon in an abandoned building near the Tierheim Inn. Alcohol in blood indicates the victim was drunk when killed. Found on Summer 11. Also cut up with a brand of Tyr. Fourth victim, Jeff, halfling male, identified by an acquaintance, Turk, known to be a burglar, found in the morning in an abandoned building around Beggar's Nest on Summer 19.
He was a burglar, or he was found by a burglar?
The murder victim was known to be a burglar.
Okay. The person that found him was not?
He did not admit to being a burglar.
Just a friend.
Yeah. He called himself an acquaintance.
Okay.
Fifth victim was a human male. Body was not identified. Seemed to be homeless, judging by his physical state. He was, had long fingernails and toenails and was not very healthy. Seemed that he'd been probably living outside. Long hair, unkempt. The body was found a few days after death in an alley near Beggar's Nest on Summer 27. And the sixth victim, which we have here still, he has been identified as Will. He's a human male. He was identified by a friend who's living in the Scar named Neil. The body was found in an abandoned building near the Big Tavern. Alcohol and blood indicates the victim was drunk when he was killed. He was found in the morning of Summer 32. So Chadley also makes notes of his idea of the connections. Says they've all seemed to have been killed during the night. They're all branded with a symbol of Tyr. Each one was cut and burned all over their bodies. And they all had evidence of having been chained up before they were killed. Or during the killing or torture. And the cause of death for all the victims was blood loss.
Okay.
And I will copy and paste that into the Discord. If you want me to email it to you later, I can also do that.
That would be convenient.
That was out of game, but okay. Harbek is like, yes, my email is harbek@churchoftear.com.
.org.
Yeah, .org.
I can do cut and paste on that, right?
You
there?
you can copy and paste out of Discord if you want to.
Okay, good.
Okay, so he says, would you like to examine the body yourself?
Yes, I would.
All right.
And
he gives you a smock and some gloves and brings you into the next room.
okay.
So you see what he was described. A human male. He's laying on a stone table. And before we do any rolls to investigate, if there's anything you want to specifically look for, you can tell me. If you think of something, you might not need to roll if you look specifically for something. So,
all right. I'm looking specifically for. He said the cause of death was blood loss. Okay, does that look like something was carefully cut and drained, or does it look like he was just cut so many times he bled to death?
okay, Chadley thinks that he was just cut so many times that he bled to death.
Okay, so there isn't a main artery or anything like that that was snipped.
So okay.
So in other words, it does not look like the blood was actually drained from him for a purpose.
Okay, let's say so you're gonna check the arteries. So you look at his wrists and around his legs, and his neck. When you look at the neck, you notice that it's a little different the way it was cut there. It seems like the skin was kind of like flayed off of the neck. Like the skin was removed, and it's a bit different from the rest of the body.
If you were going to actually get the blood and put it in a container or something like that, that's the kind of mark you would make?
You're not sure about that, but it does look... it does kind of seem suspicious that that part was different.
Okay.
Let's have you do a roll as you look at the neck.
Okay, wait a minute. All right, let's see now. Do I use wisdom or what?
Roll a d20 and add investigation.
Okay, investigation +1. Okay, 9 + 1, 10.
Okay. You don't notice anything special about the neck. But as you look around, you did check the wrists. So as you look at the wrists, you also make note of the fact that the abrasions left by it seems that there were chains around the wrists, and that you notice that there's no rust or anything from the chains.
No what?
No rust.
No what?
No rust left over.
Okay.
So you presume that the chains were possibly purchased. They might have been newer chains, not something that was found laying around somewhere.
Gotcha. Okay, and the brand. When I look at the brand, is it crude, or does it look like somebody actually did brand him with a branding iron, or does it look more like they sort of burned it into him with a hot wire or something like that?
So you when you examine the brand, you find it's you compare it with your badge that you were given, and you find it doesn't match it exactly. It doesn't seem like someone used a badge or something, but it does have a kind of similar. Um, it doesn't look perfectly clean. The burn mark. It doesn't look like it was done with a branding tool. It looks like someone probably had a holy symbol or something that they used. They heated up and pressed on there, because some of the skin
Okay.
around the design is also burned. So it's not a very super clear brand.
Okay. And is there more than one brand on him or just one brand?
There's only one, and it's like in the center of his chest.
Okay, now with the other ones, does it look like it was exactly the same brand?
Um, so Chadley thinks about it. Um, I'm gonna do a roll to see what he remembers. He is not sure about if they were the same. He says they were each one had the burn mark in different places, and that it he can't really remember. He wasn't able to examine the bodies side by side and compare them. He doesn't really remember how similar they were.
Okay. It looks like somebody heated up a badge. It's not a badge like mine.
Yeah, it doesn't. Um, I think. Let's see. It is also your badge is a shield shape. This one's also a shield shape, but it's kind of different. It's more squat than the one you have, so it's obviously not the same badge. But it does seem like something like that, like uh, like a holy symbol that someone might keep, rather than a proper branding iron.
Okay, I'm going to take out my piece of vellum
Uh huh.
and trace over the brand. So on the piece of vellum now I have the what the brand looked like.
Okay. Cool. Chadley is impressed by that, and he says, "Ah, that's a good idea. I didn't think of doing that." So he makes a copy for himself as well.
And then I'm going to go over to Harold and I'm going to ask him to look at it and ask him, does he recognize who would be wearing a badge like that?
He says that everyone has the standard badge that he gave you right now. He's not sure if they had an older one before, but he says he can go ask for you. Chadley doesn't recall a badge that shape either being used, but
Do you think?
he says that like most churches in different cities, they make their own holy symbols. So it could be something that someone just carries around like on a necklace or something like that.
Okay. And have you checked the body to see if there's the body? Well, this is the only one you can check, but to see if there's any magic involved with it. In other words, was he under a spell or something like that? There should be some sort of a residue. Has that been checked?
Um, he says that yes, they have checked it. There's no clear spell like magical residue or damage from a spell that they could find, but he also lets you know that it's if someone used a magical weapon or certain magical things probably wouldn't leave traces that it was done by magic, so he can't rule it out.
Right. But you can rule out that there was some sort of a spell for compulsion or something like that.
He I don't think there would be anything left over for that kind of spell.
Okay.
Yeah. So he can't really rule that out, but he didn't find any evidence of like a spell attack done on it.
Okay, and these bodies were fully clothed, correct?
No, most of I think all of the bodies were found in their underclothes, like stripped down.
And was their clothes found nearby?
No, the clothes and any possessions on them were not found.
And can you show the locations on the map at some point?
Okay, and yeah, I actually prepared that already. I thought you might ask that. So he has cheap a cheap map that he writes on and gives to you. For our purposes, it's just the map that you have already seen, but in game it's a sketched map.
Okay.
I've numbered them.
Yep. So that's the first body. Okay. So it's the third one that's off by itself then.
Yeah, first and third are significantly farther than 2, 4, 5, and 6.
Where's
Gotcha.
2?
It's kind
What's
of in
the
the
other
middle
one?
of the group. The 2's a little hard to read.
Oh, I see.
Okay, anything else specifically you want to look at with the body?
Have you looked? Let's see. Okay. How does it look like it would? It looks like has been beaten or just cut.
He says it. Yeah, it seems like it's all surface level cuts, like, but just a lot of them.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like he was beat. The bone. I don't think there's any broken bones or anything.
Right. You said loss of blood was the cause.
Yeah.
So if they're all superficial, then it's quite possible the one out of the neck is where the majority of the blood was lost. Then, correct?
Yeah. The neck wound was kind of a wide area over the one side of the neck that was like flayed off.
Right.
The rest of them look like small cuts from a knife or something.
Right. Was the jugular or the carotid cut?
Okay, if you want to examine the actual artery, you get in there and examine it. Let's have you do another roll for that.
Okay. It's another
Investigation. Yeah.
3+1, 4. Shit.
You accidentally like stuff your hand in there and like mess up the artery yourself, and now you're not sure if it was or not.
God damn it.
And Chadley's like, well, yeah, I've already examined it, so don't worry too much.
Okay, shit.
Alright, so with a 4 and a 10, your rolls weren't super good, so yeah. But you did get a bunch of information here, so I think that are you satisfied now?
Yes, but would you please keep the body? Don't do anything with it.
Our standard is to get rid of it
Until
after a
tomorrow.
few days. We
Until
can.
tomorrow. Until tomorrow.
Oh, definitely. We by our normal standards, we would have it cremated in the next 2 days.
Okay, that's fine.
If you want to go, if you go to the Hall of Justice and um confirm with them that you want the body kept longer, we can probably arrange that.
Oh, that's fine. 2 days is fine.
Okay.
And if somebody shows up, if an elf shows up with a human and say I sent them, please let them in and be able to examine the body as well.
Um, that would be okay, but can make sure to provide them with some document or something
I
that
will.
they can show.
Okay. Okay. Here on a piece of the paper that I have, here's my signature,
Okay.
and they will have a piece of paper with that same signature on it.
Oh, you know what? He says, I see you have a signet ring. We could stamp that as well.
Or okay, I will stamp the signet ring.
Okay. So he has some evidence for what your call sign is, kind of.
Right.
Okay, cool. He says, yeah, that would be fine. If they're working with you.
Thank you very much. You've been very helpful.
Thank you. I hope you are able to bring us some more information. I will let you know if we have another victim.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now, I can check this later on, but are the dates that they found the bodies in a sequence or random? So it's like every third day, every week, or something like that.
The spacing between the days are not exactly the same, but they're around a week apart. Sometimes
Okay,
8 days, sometimes 6 days.
gotcha.
Okay. So as you step out of the morgue out into the cemetery grounds, there's actually someone waiting for you outside. He
Okay,
says,
am I in the main cemetery or the pauper graveyard?
in the pauper's graveyard.
Okay,
And he says, Lord Harbek?
yes.
And we'll have a little cliffhanger there as we go over to Rokas and ICU. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey.
Uh-huh.
Good day, good day.
Just teasing you. So you guys are walking through the Lake District. You just met with Feleric Hargenthrop, a arrogant little so-and-so, as Icy called him. And so you get up to an intersection with there's kind of a square stone platform. This is near the Tarmaloon Auction House, Starshine Academy, and the Many Coins Bank. Do you see that on the map?
See the Mint Coins Bank, yep.
Yeah, there's a big intersection, 5-way intersection there.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where you guys are. Where do you want to hit from here?
We were going to head to the Silver Thimble Tailors. Was where we were heading.
Okay. So as you walk through this area, you walk past the gated community, Blue Lake Towers, and there's some of the Neverwinter Guard standing around some of the gates, and they're very visibly eyeing you guys and a couple of them come over and ask you for your ID. Uh, would you give it to them to check?
Sure.
Okay. So they check it. It goes about the same as when you came into the Protector's Enclave. And
How come we?
what's that?
I was just wondering how come we didn't just walk south of the lake.
You're
On our
walking
way.
south of the lake. You're not in the gated
Okay.
community, but you're near it, and
Okay.
then they're like coming over to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're
You
we're
get the
sort of
feeling
by
that
the-
they're kind of harassing you.
Okay.
And you notice that other people walking around are all giving you looks.
Okay.
You notice that people in this district, the men are all, a lot of the men are wearing, kind of, you haven't seen this kind of coat before. It's like a coat with a wide collar, and it's has stripes. It's like bold, bright stripes, and you see it like a few times that you see these noble types are wearing these striped coats. Seems to be in fashion.
Okay.
And the women, a lot of the ladies are wearing like berets or hats with big feathers in them. And it's something that you haven't seen in the rest of the city. But everyone, it's like strangely common sight as you're walking down this road. Like, why is everyone wearing this stuff?
Okay.
Okay. So as you go down, some other guards come up and bug you, and it goes about the same. And then finally you get over to the river district, and as soon as you get in there, it's like pretty different feeling. It's like nobody's wearing those clothes anymore over here, and everyone looks pretty like, I guess we could describe them as middle class. There's a lot of houses over here compared to Protector's Enclave and Lake District. It seems like a lot of the just regular people of the city live here, and there's a lot of streets with just homes everywhere.
Gotcha.
So you pass the Ogre's Flagon and the Lion Shield Coster as you make your way to the Silver Thimbles Tailors. And outside is a sign with a silver thimble and a thread and needle. And I guess you can enter. Anything special you want to do as you enter?
Good day, sir. We are here to buy some clothing.
And then you hear two women giggling. Ah, sir. There's no sir here, madam.
Hello,
You
lovely ladies.
You see two halfling women there.
Hello,
Let me pull
my
up
name
the
is.
store.
Hello, my name is ICU. My nickname is Icy.
Oh,
And I'm looking to buy a dress and a long cape.
oh, nice. A long cape. So what? So, oh well. Greetings.
Greetings.
My name is Roisin, and this is
Roisin,
my
that's a beautiful
sister Aoife.
Rokas is gonna have to run around the back for a second.
Okay. So we can do Icy talking about her clothes while Rokas is twiddling his thumbs.
He's not what he's doing.
He's twiddling something.
Probably something else.
Roisin is the one who's greeting you. Aoife seems to be a bit shyer. She nods and waves at you, but she's kind of working on something
And
quietly.
they're halflings?
Yeah, they're both like 3 feet tall or something. They're quite small. Okay, so she says, so, Madam Icy, what kind of quality level were you thinking for your clothes? We provide a few different types of cloth material, and so what were you thinking of spending?
I don't want well to do. I would like something in a medium to moderate price.
Okay. So she kind of goes through it. They have common clothes that are 5 silver, travelers' clothes for 2 gold, and fine clothes for 15 gold. She says that they can alter stuff for 4 silver and mending for 1 silver. And they also have costume clothes for like entertainers and stuff.
Think
She says, well, we have things that are already made here that you can look through. And
would be good.
if you want us to create something, then it will be slightly more expensive. But we would use one of our, you know, patterns that we have already and modify it for you.
Could you show me your dresses and let me?
Okay, and then I will. Let's see. Gonna look to pull up your drawing you did. So, for the cloak, you are able to find something that is a green cloak with kind of purple plaid.
Well, that's wonderful.
So that is pretty much what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You find a purple dress that's similar to the one you had, and then they said that they could alter it for you. So maybe you want to describe what you'd want them to do to this purple dress they have.
You to put a green ribbon on it with some like a wheat symbol, and I'd like across the tunic part, a gold, 2 gold wheat symbols, and then at the bottom of the skirt, so that I can wear the tunic if I. And then I have a underskirt, and I would like it to have what would look like green grass coming from the bottom. And I would like a waistband of golden green, 2 golden green stripes.
Okay, so she pulls out some paper and starts kind of sketching it out, and you also help her with some ideas as she draws it, and then you end up with your drawing that you had shown. So you come up with this drawing at the end. And she says, okay, yeah, we could do that in a few days. The price, let me think about how much the extra bits would cost. So she talks with Aoife, her sister. They said, so that would probably be the dress is part of their traveler's clothes section. For the alteration is 4 silver, and then the materials to change the dress would cost a bit more, so it'd come out to about 3 gold.
3 gold for the dress. That's the total price.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they think they can get it done in 3 days.
Okay, and the cloak, I would like you to put some pockets on the inside so I can carry stuff around and have it be safe.
She takes the cloak off for you and shows you that it actually does have pockets like that.
That's great. And how much is the cloak?
Let's see. The cloak is only about 3 silver pieces.
Anything that I could buy off the rack right now I want to go have a shower and change into some clean clothing. I cleaned my gear that I have on now, but I'm thinking I might have to do some patches to it.
Oh, well, we can help you with mending your clothes. If you want, if you'd like to buy some common clothes, a set, we can sell you a full set of clothes for 5 silver that you can wear out of the store. We have a changing room. Are you planning to go to a gathering or anything?
Meeting with somebody I met at the what's that called?
You're gonna talk about Harbek's place?
Yeah, we're planning on meeting a friend at the Driftwood Tavern.
Oh, the Driftwood Tavern. I, I'm not to be rude, but I think you might need. They might not allow customers with common clothes in there.
So what would you recommend?
Uh, I think the bare minimum would probably be our traveler's clothes, which is about 2 gold. But most people in the Lake District, they wear fine clothes.
Let's get the travelers.
We can sell you a full set of traveler's clothes for 2 gold.
Okay, then that's what I'll get.
Yeah, so your dress, and that would be 3 gold. If you just want to basically rent the clothes, since you're buying some traveling clothes, we could I don't know if you want 2 sets or not.
To rent maybe travelers clothes. How much would it be for the better clothing for when we go to the tavern until till my dress is ready?
Oh, fine clothes?
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking about renting fine clothes?
Yeah, for the 3 days till my dress is ready.
We would basically sell them to you for the 15 gold, and then if you bring them back in good quality, we'll return 12 gold to you. So we would keep 3 gold.
Okay, then that's what I'll do.
Okay. So they sell you the what was it? The cloak?
Silver.
Oh, what was that?
Cloak you said was 3 silver pieces.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
And then they to buy the what do you call that clothing? The higher end stuff.
Yeah, hold on. I'm taking some notes here. I see buys a cloak for 2 silver, right?
3 silver.
3 silver?
Yeah.
Okay. Confusing myself. 3 silver, you're getting a dress made for 3 gold.
Yeah. Do I pay up front or when I come to get it?
The dress they're making, they say you can pay when you come pick it up, since you're doing business with them anyway.
And then the fine clothing is 15 gold pieces.
Yeah, and then they said if you come back, they'll give you back 12, so they'll keep 3.
Okay. friend Rokas. I think he should get some fine clothing as well, and he'll take it in a bag because hasn't had a bath or anything. And clothes he has on, we'll just clean up and maybe bring them back for mending.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be fine. So Rokus, they have you come in and they show you some different kinds of fine clothes that you can
Okay.
choose from. The one that the fine clothes they give to Icy, they find a purple dress with lots of gold and like actually has like gemstones and things inlaid into it. It comes with they have hats to choose from. So Rokus, they show you a plain green coat with like emeralds on it. They show you a striped jacket with black and green stripes, and the last one is a jacket with blue and white stripes.
I think I'll go for the green.
The
The
plain
first
green
plain
one.
one. Yeah.
Okay, this green with emeralds. Okay, and for Icy, they show you a couple hats. There's a giant, like, extremely tall, like, top hat with feathers all around it. There's a beret with it's like a red beret with a green feather. And there's another hat that is kind of looks like a cowboy hat. It's a big white hat with a curved brim, and it's got pink feathers.
I'll take the white hat with the pink feathers, but instead of pink feathers, could you put in maybe purple feathers to match my dress?
They said, okay, yeah, we can do that. It's easy enough to remove.
Okay.
So you get a big hat with purple feathers. Okay, so I see you're gonna wear what are you gonna wear out? Your regular clothes or?
And then after we get cleaned up, and before we go to meet with Harbek, we'll get dressed.
Okay, cool. So
Because we still have to, yeah.
okay, so Rokus, for renting the clothes, they give you the same deal. You pay 15 now, and if you bring it back in good condition, they'll return
Without
13.
Without any knife holes in it.
Yeah, so you do have to keep it. Don't roll in the mud, and you might want to think about where you sleep tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah, might not want to get in any bar fights while you're wearing that.
Okay.
It is kind of tight. It restricts your movement a little bit when you're wearing the coat. So, yeah. Okay. So are you guys finished with your business in here? Anything else you want to do?
They can't fit me up with something that's a little bit less restrictive.
That's the style. They tell
I
you.
understand, but
Well, we don't really have any loose fitting fine clothes.
okay.
Yeah. Fine clothes, they have to show off your physique. And she pats your bottom.
I have to try to stay
and they're
out
giggling.
Of bar fights. One other thing I would like to know is an establishment where we might stay that is not extravagant, but um, of modest. Uh,
Quality?
yeah,
Bill had mentioned the ogre, ogre's flagon as some place that would be a good place to stay.
Okay, so they tell you that the Ogre's Flagon is a okay place, but they do have bar fights and stuff sometimes. That it's a rowdy place, but the lodging rating would be modest there. They tell you, they describe it so that you can get that feeling, and they also say that the Bard's Tale over in the Protector's Enclave would be a little nicer. Not quite with wealthy level, but it's a comfortable place to stay, and that it's a nice place where they have live music. Well, I guess all music is live at this time. uh, they have
we don't have a
bards.
DJ.
Yeah, they have bards that show up uh, every night to sing, and they don't really have people getting super drunk there and stuff, getting in fights.
Okay.
Because we have to go to, I think it's Nathaniel's luxury supplies, and seeing as how we've got some fine clothing, we could, with the map, we could go to then Nathan's luxury supplies, and maybe we could go to the Driftwood Tavern. They probably would provide us with a bath, and we could get into our fine clothing and meet with Harbek.
I don't think they'd let us in if we showed up like that. We need to go somewhere, like to the place in the Protector's District and get cleaned up before we go to the Driftwood.
Are you guys discussing this in the shop?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the women might overhear you. You did mention you wanted to have a bath?
Yeah.
We have I don't know if you're familiar with Neverwinter, but we have, because we're so close to the volcanoes, we have hot springs here. There's a relatively cheap bath house nearby
that would
you
be
could
great.
go to.
Well, let's get into our fine clothing, and then we can go to the luxury supply, and talk with them about some of the stuff we have to sell and want to buy, and then we could go to the Driftwood Tavern.
I think we need to go to our other place and leave off. We're going to have our backpacks and all our junk. We're going to need to leave it where we're going to stay. So yeah, let's just add in on our way that we stop by and get lodgings, either at the Ogre or the other place in the Protector's District before we head to the.
Okay, so if you guys are leaving the Silver Thimble, if you're walking down the main road there, you'll pass by the Ogre's Flagon and the Sonrisa Baths.
Okay.
They're both facing the same kind of rectangular intersection there. So
okay.
if you want to drop into either one of those to check them out, you could do that. Where would you like to go to one of those? In which order?
Let's just go down to the baths and get that over with.
Rokas not looking forward to bathing.
Yeah.
Cleaned
It's
up.
fine. It's patina.
Okay, we'll head down to the bath, and then we can get changed, and then we can go to the ogre's flagon.
What?
And
Why don't you watch my stuff while I take my bath, and then I'll watch your stuff while you clean up if you want.
okay, well, are you going to get into your clean clothes after your bath?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you go into the Sunrisa baths, and you're greeted by another halfling woman. She's younger than the others. Her name is. She introduces herself. Hi, I'm Vanny Tealeaf.
Hello, Miss Tealeaf.
Are you looking for? Oh, I think you do need a bath, sir.
Yes, he does.
Now, are you looking to? We have the public baths, which is you can see right through there, and then you see into a big room. It's like a very large square. It's kind of like a shallow swimming pool, and there's lots of people in there bathing, like using soap and lounging about. And then she says we also have private hot spring baths, if you would rather be alone. She's like looking at you too, you know, be alone.
Oh. Yeah. How much is the public bath?
1 silver piece.
And how much of the private?
Hot spring bath is 4 silver.
I'm okay with the private. How about you, Icy?
Yeah, and is it 4 silver each or 4 silver for the both of us?
You can both use 1 private bath.
We'll do that.
Okay. We usually we have a time limit. You should come out after at least an hour and a half.
That'll be more than long enough.
Okay, that's fine. So she leads you both to a room. It's a pretty small room, but they have a nice hot spring bathtub there with water flowing into it. And you guys are able to disrobe and bathe yourselves in a very nice, clean, warm bath. And
feels so good.
Yeah. Super relaxing. And yeah, Rokas is getting sleepy as he's sitting in there. All right. So you want to move on as you exit?
Sure.
Shall we go stay at the deposit our stuff at the Ogre Flanagan, and then we'll take off to the
if you're all right with staying in a place where we might have ruffians messing up our finery when we get back.
Yeah, are you wearing your fine clothes now? That you finished your bath?
Yeah, and we
we might as well put it on.
So as you come out, Vanny Tealeaf is like, "Whoa! Wow! You guys clean up nicely, huh?"
Yeah, we have a dinner date.
Wow. Well, I'm glad. Thank you, my lord, for choosing our establishment.
Okay, and we'll have to pay.
Piece. I'm having 1 copper piece tip.
Oh, thank you.
Tip 1 copper piece.
Thank you so much, my lady.
Okay. I'm looking for my here he is. Looking for my page to take off money.
Okay.
Okay. Did you say it was 4 silver?
And then gold for your traveling clothes, and I'll do mine as well then.
Was it 4 gold?
What are you asking for?
For the
15
traveling
gold.
clothes.
15 for... Oh, no, you got fine
Oh.
clothes, not traveler's clothes.
Oh, okay.
Fine
That's
clothes
right.
was 15 gold. If you want to buy different stuff when you go back to return the fine clothes, you could do that.
Okay.
But right now you just got the fine clothes. And the hot
Okay.
spring bath was 4 silver.
And I'm going to give her 2 copper for tip.
Oh, thank you, my lord. So handsome.
Okay.
Well, come back. Come back, you hear? Don't forget
Yes,
about
ma'am.
Sonrisa Baths.
Okay.
Thank you. It was very relaxing.
Yes. Do you want to stay at the ogre's place, or do you want to go to the he mentioned was it the Bard's Tail or the Sleeping Dragon or somewhere?
The Bard's Tail. The Sleeping Dragon is the bridge.
The reason I
broken
mentioned
bridge.
the Bard's Tail is closer to the tavern, and we won't have to walk through the Blue Lake district to get there. I think there's less chance of us getting into trouble if we're wearing our finery.
Okay. So as you step out of Sonrisa Baths, you can see the ogre's flagon right over there. So if you wanted to check it out, you could. But you guys are talking outside now. So
Okay.
Rokas asks Icewe what she thinks about between the ogre's flagon and the bard's tail. So what do you think, Icewe?
Okay, with going to the Bard's Tale. But we have to also go to, is it Nathaniel's Luxury Supplies? Is that where we were supposed to take our shafts? I can't remember. I can't find my notes.
Staffs?
The staffs, yeah.
No, that's not that one actually. The magic shop you were suggested to go was Magnus's Tome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to head there?
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Okay, so you walk up past the ogre's flagon and you see a guy stumbling out and fall over into the dirt as you walk by. You walk down the road and there's some kids are walking your way, and then when they see you they get kind of scared and run off. You see some guys with carts, they kind of bow their heads to you as you walk by. You're getting treated a bit differently now.
Where are they now?
We're walking down
the big road towards the Lake District.
Okay. They're at the same road they came in on, the north one, not the one by the river?
That's what I was imagining, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and I think, yeah, let's cut back to Harbek. Okay, so someone meets you outside. He's wearing sort of plain clothes, but nice and clean. And he says, Lord Harbek, I presume.
Yes.
And who is your company?
This is Harold, who has been assigned to me while I'm doing my investigations.
I see. I have an urgent message, but I need to deliver it to you in private.
Okay, I'll ask Harold to step aside.
Okay, you walk a ways away, and he says, Lord Harbek, Lord Neverwinter has arrived. He wants to meet with you up the hill here at the church. So up the hill you see there's like an old church. It's not really in super bad disrepair, but You can see that it doesn't look like it's in use, but there's a church up on the hill in the pauper section. He says it's important that we keep this a secret.
Where's the church on the map?
Let's just in the pauper section. There's a kind of a circle, and that's a hill, and
Okay.
there's a church there up on the top.
I
It's
see
not
it.
labeled.
Okay, I see it. Okay, and we're at the little, the X is inside the Pauper's Graveyard.
Yeah, the square with the X is the Morgue building.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let me talk to Harold first, and then I'll come with you.
So, please be discreet.
Okay. Okay, I'll go to Harold, and I'll say, the first thing I have to ask Harold is, there was a party ship, it sounded like. There was a bunch of Rokases and things like that next to where I'm staying. Do you know anything about that?
The Beached Leviathan?
Yes.
He says it's just a tavern that's popular with sailors.
Okay. Sort of low class?
Yeah. And he says, the Driftwood Tavern probably is not happy with it being there, but
I was wondering about that. Okay. And now I need to go with this person here. So what I would like you to do now, the first one that was found was no clothes and his face is missing.
yes.
I think there's a good chance somebody is trying to emulate him. That they've swiped his identification and apparently his face as well. So
Okay.
So two things I would like you to do. Thing number one is to go around and show that tracing I gave you and ask anybody if he knows who would be wearing an emblem like that with that shape.
Okay.
And the second thing is for anyone that that is relatively new to the area that has a passport from outside the city,
Okay.
put them under that cone of truth and make sure that they are not faking that they're masquerading as somebody else.
I don't that part would be difficult. Not many of us have the ability to cast that spell. We'd have to take them back to the Hall of Justice to have one of
Right.
the
Yeah.
clerics or someone do it.
Okay. Well, who did it? Who did it for me when we were at the gate?
Yeah, they do have security at the gate who can do that.
Okay. Why don't you? So you can have the security do that then.
Okay, he'll so who was it that you wanted them to do it with specifically?
Okay. I think that there's maybe somebody they're masquerading. They have his face and his identification and his clothes. I think there may be someone who has killed him in order to take over his identification.
Okay.
So if you put them under that cone of truth, you can grill them and make sure that they are the people that they say they are.
So it would have to be a human male because he
Correct.
was a human male.
Well,
Okay.
it could be a shape changer. So
Well, I mean, if he's currently masquerading as that person, he would be a human male.
okay, gotcha. I understand what you mean now. Yes, you are correct.
Okay, so he got your point, and he says, "I'll go let the higher ups know, see what I can do."
Okay, and then how about tomorrow? It's kind of late now, so why don't you meet me where I'm staying at the Driftwood tomorrow morning, and you can tell me how successful you were.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. You've been a big help.
Thank you for giving me a chance to serve you.
I will certainly let your superiors know, so far at least, the job you're doing has been quite good.
Okay, thank you. So he
Okay.
runs off, down the road through the gates, and the person waiting for you just watching you and waits for you to come over. So as you head over to him and he escorts you up to the church, you see a carriage outside the church with it's unmarked. It doesn't have any regalia on it or anything, and it has curtains over the windows. And you go into the church. There are a few guards there, and they're also wearing plain clothes, without any logos or anything on them. And you see a man standing in the middle of the church, and he turns around. You see this man standing before you wearing, he actually has a black cloak on over his fineries. But as you enter, he removes it, and he's wearing blue robes and armor with a red sort of necklace draped across his shoulders. He's got a stern look on his face, and he seems to be in his 60s. He's a human male, and he introduces himself. Lord Harbek.
And who am I is addressing me?
I am Lord Protector Daggelt Neverwinter.
Ah,
I heard you were trying to get in contact with me.
yes, I was. Your captain of the guards didn't seem to think that nobility counts for much in this city.
Yes, I apologize for his rudeness. However, it may have played into an idea of mine. So, let me ask you, I know you're affiliated with the Church of Tyr as a paladin, I believe.
Yes.
And your cousin is Lady Linnea Alexandrite?
Yes, she is, and I'm surprised you have not contacted her. This is the second time she's been in your city. You have not inquired of her before, which disturbs me.
I actually have run into her at the trial of Glassstaff. So I have made her acquaintance. But she didn't
Okay.
seem too interested in discussing things with me.
Well, your pedigree as a nobleman is somewhat tenuous, so people tend to be a little bit diffident. Myself, I see that you have done some good things in the city. So even though your claim is a little tenuous to being in the nobility, and given the situations, I would be willing to give my okay in terms of recognition as a member of the League of Lords.
Um, okay, he says, yes, Lord Harbeck, I understand many have called my claims into question, but I have gone under many different uh, um, spells and oaths, and I have not been found to be lying. My claims may not be up to everyone's hopes and dreams of King Alegandar's heir, but I do have my distant claim to rule this city, and I am a member of the Lord's Alliance, and I I would be interested in working with the dwarves of Understar if they were not always shut away in their mountain. But one thing I would like to discuss with you today is not really related to those things. Well, it is related to the Lord's Alliance. I'm disturbed by the current state of the Lord's Alliance. And I want to know if you're truly on the side of justice.
I'm a paladin. I take umbrage that you would even ask me that question.
Well, there are those within the church who have broken their oaths before. And I do not know you very well, and you are not a well-known person yourself.
I'm listening.
I would like to keep our meeting a secret between you and I. Because I believe the Lord's Alliance is in danger of being taken over by one particular lord. And I believe that they mean to try to either get me kicked off of the council or have me assassinated. And I thought that someone...
Why would they want to get rid of you?
Because I am not a popular lord. You may or may not know that I was once the open lord of Waterdeep City, and I was run out of there, and took over my responsibilities as Lord Protector here, in my attempts to protect the common man from the monsters and evil things of this world. And you may not think much of me, but I am a follower of Tyr myself. I care about the law and I care about fairness, and I don't think that the Lord's Alliance should be ruled by one person.
Who's the one person?
Well, before I go into my ideas, I want to know, are you willing to help me? Would you be willing to report to me if you discover any plots against me within the Lord's Alliance, or possibly, I hope this is not the case, but within the Church of Tyr?
If what you say is true about your love of justice and fairness, the answer is yes. If I find information that turns out that you are not being square with me, then I would not feel obligated to break my oath.
That's fine. I'm offering this as a reward. If you bring me information of a plot against me, I will reward you with 500 gold. And if you're able to thwart an attempt on my life or a coup d'etat by a outside faction, I will reward you with 1,000 gold.
Okay, so information is 500 and actually thwarting the plot is 1,000, is what you're saying.
Yes, and depending on what goes on, I would be willing to give more.
Okay.
But I don't want people to know that you have made contact with me and that we are on friendly terms, because I don't think that they would divulge things in your presence if they knew that.
Okay, that would probably help my investigations. I would need some sort of a cover, though, as to why I would be going around. So, would you also, should we say that I am also, as well as for the church, as for you as well, as investigating these murders?
I think the investigation. I'm not that familiar with the reason you're here, but I do know about the murders. So that's why you're here today.
Well, I've already promised the Church of Tyr that I would investigate those murders.
I see. That would probably work well for you finding information for me. I don't know if you're planning to go to the Lord's Alliance's fort over on Fort Moonstone.
Where is that?
Near the Hall of Justice, there's a small island.
And there's a meeting there?
Well, the Lord's Alliance often has meetings there.
Okay.
But that's where they keep their armed forces. They have a barracks there. So I'm asking if you find yourself in Fort Moonstone with their leaders, and if you hear anything about an unlawful attempt to take over Neverwinter and supplant me, that you would please give that information to me so that I may defend myself.
Okay, as I said, as long as it looks like to me that you are have the kind of person that you say you are, the answer is yes.
Okay. I'm glad to hear you're willing to work with me. He walks forward and he holds his hand out, and inside his hand is a silver ball, and it has an engraving of a lion's face on one side. He says, "Take this icon. If for some reason you're stopped by the Neverwinter guard, show them this, and probably the normal guardsmen will not know what this is, but the captain of the guard and any of the higher ups will know what it means.
Okay, and
That you are not meant to be imprisoned or anything like that."
okay, how do if I get information, how do I get that information to you?
I think there are probably a few ways, but I will send someone to check on you from time to time. If you find something, you can bring it to my villa.
Okay.
If you bring it to the guards at my villa and show them that ball, they will know that you're working for me.
Where's the villa?
It's nearby. If you look at the map, it's labeled. It's quite near the Pauper's Graveyard, just down the road on the way to the Hall of Justice. It says Neverwinter Villa. Do you see it?
I see the guard station. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yes. Also, let them know that if the dog next to me, if he shows up there, he may have a message, and they should let him in and check for a message.
Oh, I see. Okay. Would you? I I think that would be fine in most cases, but if it's something very secret and urgent, I would prefer that you do it yourself.
I understand.
Yes, because I don't want. I would suggest you do not let anyone know about that secret icon or put it on the dog or something like that. Keep it on
That's why
yourself.
just tell them if the big dog comes in, he should be allowed in, and I will put something very cryptic if I write a message.
Okay, I will let them know to receive your faithful hound here. Um yes, it's been nice meeting with you. Now I would reprimand my captain of the guard for treating you rudely. However, I think that may be good for our cover. So please bear with him.
I'll tell him he has to be sure he knows the next time that we come, he treat me properly, and he again, if
I will
uh,
give him a standard talking to, but I'm not going to specifically just tell him that I have met you.
and I am to be treated as a lord, not as just someone coming in as a wealthy merchant or something like that. I'm a station above that.
Yes, I understand it's quite frustrating. I'll talk to him.
He needs to know that the different people from different stations should be treated differently.
I I I suspect the reason that he was rude was possibly he does not seem to enjoy working alongside the Church of Tyr.
That's his problem, not mine.
Yes, I agree. Well, Lord Harbek, it was a pleasure meeting you.
My lord, too.
I will be in contact with you.
Sounds good.
All right, I bid you good day.
Good day, sir.
So he waits for you to leave before he goes into his carriage. You don't see him exit as you go back down the road and out of the north gate. And let's cut back to Rokas and Icewe.
All right.
So you guys are on your way to Magnus's tome, right?
Yes.
So you walk up to the front door of this place. It's a very fancy building. It has 4 spires around it. It kind of looks like a castle itself. And outside of the door, you see 2 shield guardians.
I nudge Icy and tell her to take the lead.
So you see a shield guardian. It looks like it's kind of like a animated suit of armor.
Maybe entering inside.
Okay, so you walk to the door. The door is closed, and on the outside of the door, there's a mouth on the door. And as you approach, the mouth starts talking. It says, "Greetings, customers of Magnus's tome. Here are the rules of entry." And the magic mouth describes the dress code of customers and that you should not touch anything and so on and so on. Most of them are rules that are pretty obvious, but it just keeps talking and talking. And finally it's finished and you guys are able to enter. And you walk into this room and it's actually quite sparse. There's an wide open entryway and then a long table that kind of spans the room. And there's you see a red snake on the table.
Anybody here? We would like to conduct some business.
The snake like moves and kind of stands up and is looking at you. You see the snake is red on top and yellow, has a yellow belly. One eye is brown and the other eye is green. And it's looking at you guys in the face.
I'll address the snake. Say we have items we'd like to have evaluated and discussed for possible transactions.
You hear footsteps approaching from the back room behind the table. And out from another room, you see a man approach. And he extends his hand to the snake. And the snake goes up his arm and around his neck. And he stares at you wide-eyed, kind of in a strange way, just like the snake. He has dark skin and dreadlocked hair with a fashionable red and black striped coat similar to the ones you've seen around town. And he says, "You have staves? Let me see.
What's your name first?
Oh, pardon me. I was too excited about the staffs. My name is Illustro Magnus." And he does a bow to you. And he says, "My lady, what is your name?"
My name is Icewe Adenak.
Very unique. And you, my lord?
I am Rokas Adekan.
A pleasure to meet you. Now, may I investigate these staffs? He extends his arms in a flamboyant way. So, are you gonna give him the staffs?
Staff. The first one is the glass staff of defense. I'll let you look at that first.
Alright, he does. He picks it up and holds it, but he's actually still looking at you, Icy, as he's touching it, but he's like staring at you with his eyes wide open in a strange kind of way. But he's touching the staff all over, up and down on different sides, and turning it around in front of him. And then he puts it on the table and says, "The other?"
What would you value this glass staff of defense? Would you be willing to pay for it?
He looks at his snake, and his snake looks back at him. He lets his hand down and he lets the snake go along the staff, and it coils around it and then goes back up his other arm. He says, let me consult my notes. So he takes out a book and pages through it. And then he says, "For this glass staff of defense, it's able to cast the spell shield and mage armor, relatively rare, but easily reproduced. I would be willing to pay 1,866 gold pieces for this glass staff.
Hoping to get 2,500.
What's that?
I was hoping to get 2,500 for it.
No. 1,866 gold pieces is what it's worth.
To think about that. Do you want to see the other staff?
Yes, I do.
It's a staff of the spider.
Okay, he goes through the same rigmarole with the staff of the spider, and then he very intensely stares at you and says, "This spider staff, which can cast the spell Spider Climb and Web, is slightly more valuable than the glass staff. It is worth 2,889 gold pieces."
Okay, I'll keep the. I'll make a note of that. We were also interested in a special breastplate. I'll let Rokas explain what he's looking for.
I do not sell breastplates.
Can you enchant? Can you add enchantments
I
to
do
a
not
breastplate?
do enchantments.
Okay.
There is such an establishment which is called the Glowing Anvil.
Okay. We were there.
I see. He's staring at you now, Rokas. His snake is also staring at you.
I'll stare back.
He cocks his head to one side. Says, "Now, would you like to peruse our catalog for a purchase, or sell me one of these interesting staffs that you have produced?"
I would like to see the catalog. I'm interested in items that would improve one's stealth.
Let me think if I have some such thing as that. He says that currently he doesn't have anything in stock that would be useful for that.
Okay. Do you know where that sort of item might be obtained?
My companions, the wizards of this city, there are many of them who own shops. I would suggest that you may find something in a shop in the Protector's Enclave, known as Arcane Alley.
Very good.
I believe Yogala, the wizard there, may have something that you would be looking for. And as it is a more humble establishment, the price would be lower.
I see. Now, would Icy, would you show him the dwarven axe?
Okay, when you pull out the weapon, he's just like, "Oh, I am not interested in weapons."
Can you tell us anything about it?
Which axe is this?
It's a dwarven axe with runes.
I think you guys gave that to Linnea.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah.
I didn't know she kept it, because we'd given stuff to
Vola I think
that we expected to get back.
Yeah, Linnea just took whatever she had.
Okay. Never mind.
But yeah, when you mention about weapons or armor, he's very seems to find it distasteful.
Okay. So let's look
he
at this
says,
catalog.
I
What does he have?
am a man of refined arcane tastes.
Okay. What sort of items do you have?
I have many items, but they are quite expensive. Such as I have a folding boat.
A
And
portable boat. That
he's-
sounds neat.
He takes out this little box and he says, within this box, there is a magical unfolding boat. It can unfold into two different sizes. It can be a boat for 4 passengers with a sail, or a large ship up for, I believe it's maybe 10 or 20 people can get on this ship. It has oars and all kinds of things. I am not a sailor myself, but I think it's a quite interesting item. It goes for 20,000 gold pieces.
Sounds pretty reasonable for that strong a magic.
Yes, but although you are wearing very fine clothes, I have the feeling that you may be more of the adventuring type.
Yes.
I have
profession
something
is-
that might be useful for you.
Okay, we're listening. You want to show us?
He pulls out a box, and inside of it are 5 little balls on a string. Just like a necklace with beads. He says, these are beads of force. They go for 2,000 gold pieces for a set. Each bead can explode with force when thrown at an enemy. Would you be interested in such a thing?
Interested. What sort of damage would they produce?
Okay,
Range.
I'd have to look it up. Hold on. I did write down certain things, but I don't have all of the stuff right at my fingertips. So he explains it, but I'll just read it out for you. This small black sphere measures 3/4 of an inch in diameter and weighs an ounce. Typically, 1d4 plus 4 beads of force are found together. So there are 5 here this time. You can use an action to throw the bead up to 60 feet. The bead explodes on impact and is destroyed. Each creature within a 10-foot radius of where the bead landed must succeed on a DC 15 dexterity saving throw or take 5d4 force damage. A sphere of transparent force then encloses the area for 1 minute. Any creature that failed to save is completely within the area is trapped inside this sphere. Creatures that succeeded on the save or are partially within the area are pushed away from the center of the sphere until they are no longer inside it. Only breathable air can pass through this sphere's wall. No attack or other effect can. An enclosed creature can use its action to push against the sphere's wall, moving the sphere up to half the creature's walking speed. The sphere can be picked up and its magic causes it to weigh only 1 pound, regardless of the weight of creatures inside. So it's a pretty strange thing. So it basically does some damage, but the main thing is that it traps them inside of a magic ball for a minute.
If something was trapped in it, you could carry it off in the ball and do something with it.
Yeah.
But it's
Or surround
10 feet
it.
in diameter, so you couldn't go through a door with it or anything.
Yeah. You could use it to get away. You could run away from someone or surround them or prepare some things while they're trapped.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
very interesting.
Yeah. He seems pleased that you are interested by it. He says, I do have a more practical set of items that you might like.
How much are the beads? Just
The set of 5 beads is 2,000 gold.
that's right. You told me. I forgot.
Yes. I have 2 other items which are useful for carrying things. I have Heward's handy haversack and a bag of holding. They're both extra dimensional items. If you
Okay.
store something within, you can store many objects or large objects within at a reduced weight.
And that's for the bag of holding.
Yeah, the handy haversack is larger, but it's actually cheaper. It's 2,500 gold pieces. It has a few more restrictions than the bag of holding, which is smaller, but can actually hold more. It's 5,000 gold pieces.
The bag of holding is 5,000.
Yes.
Your
And the
prices are
haversack?
very high.
Yes,
And the
thank you.
haversack? And the haversack was how much?
2,500.
Now the bag of holding is it's more magical. It holds more larger items.
Yeah, I can read it to you if you want me to.
Or even post it.
Well,
Okay.
um,
You've given us.
yeah, it's another long thing to read, but
Okay.
it can hold up to 500 pounds, not exceeding 64 cubic feet, but the bag always weighs 15 pounds. It's an extra dimensional plane of existence inside of the bag.
And 60 square feet.
He says, let me tell you one interesting thing about a bag of a holding and a handy haversack. If you were to place a bag of holding inside a handy haversack, it would instantly destroy both items and open a gate to the astral plane. The gate would originate where the one item was placed inside the other. Any creature within 10 feet of the gate is sucked through to a random location in the astral plane. The gate then closes. The gate is one way only and cannot be reopened.
Wow.
So don't do that.
Doesn't sound good.
Don't
What
cross the
for?
streams, basically.
Yeah. How about the haversack?
I think part of the cool thing about the handy haversack is that the thing you're looking for is always on top.
Okay, that's cool.
It can hold 20 pounds of material not exceeding 2 cubic feet. That's the side pouches, actually. The large central pouch can hold up to 8 cubic feet or 80 pounds of material. The backpack always weighs 5 pounds.
80 pounds and 8 cubic feet.
Yeah. The bag of holding is like just a bag of everything's just jostling around in it.
Uh-huh.
But it holds more stuff.
Yeah. But if I'm reach into the haversack, I can pull out whatever I need. It'll come up where I want it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a bag of holding might not be good during combat, but a handy haversack might be okay.
Yeah.
I do have
Very-
other items, but I'm still examining them. If you would like to know more things, you'd have to come back another day.
Okay.
I don't have a large amount of items for sale because I keep many of them as my own treasures. But the things that I do sell are all of high quality and usefulness.
Well, thank you, Mr. Magnus. I think we are going to have to look around some more and see. We have some other items to sell.
I
that are
would suggest. I don't think that you'll find anyone who has enough money to give you the value for those spider staff or glass staff other than myself.
Would you consider?
My poor compatriots within the wizards of the city, uh, they mostly deal in lower quality magic items.
okay.
Yes, I'm the only shop of rare magic items in the city. And as they are rare, there are not many of them.
Okay. Well, I think. Do you want to go ahead and sell the staffs I see, but we'll just keep the money till we talk to Harbek, and we'll have to figure out what we want to do with the funds.
Or would you be willing to do a trade? We could give you the 2 staffs for the 5 little balls of the beads of force and the haversack.
That would.
The spider staff is worth 2,889 gold pieces. That would cover the price of the handy haversack. Let me see. Glass staff is 1,866. Let me think. What would that be combined? And Illustro is fast at doing math, unlike me, who's going to use a calculator.
That would leave us with about 250 gold left over on our side.
No, I'm trying to do a deal. We'll do an exchange.
You'd be losing money though.
That exchanges to his advantage.
No, I want the beads of force, which are 2,000. The haversacks, which is 2,500.
Yeah.
Right.
But the 2,899 plus 1,866 is 4,755.
Right. So you're offering him 4,500 for our 4,700.
Take our money.
So if you sell them those 2 staffs, you can buy the beads and the handy haversack and have money left over if you wanted.
We'll just take the money because we want to go look at a breastplate. We have to decide which we want.
Plus, we have to involve Harbek because part of it's his money.
Yeah.
He was in on the obtaining the spider staff, but not the glass staff.
Can I take you aside for a minute to talk to you, Rokas?
Sure.
Okay, you guys walk into the center of the room away from him, but you can see he and his snake are both like staring at you.
Yeah.
Because Rokas, nobody knows that we know that we are in leagues with Harbek. They only know that I have met him. So we just have to not throw his name around so much.
You're right. You're right.
So,
I was indiscreet.
Okay. So I think we will take the money and we will probably be back. We have just come into the city.
All right, hold on while the phone's ringing here. Okay. Sounded like it was dealt with. Okay, so what were you saying? Go ahead.
We will take the money and Illustrous.
Illustro.
Illustro.
Yes.
We would just like to take the money, and if you could give us a list of, give us your catalog so we can peruse it and come back and make our decisions later.
Okay, so right, basically he has for sale those things he mentioned. That's about it right now.
Okay.
So gets he pours a bunch of gold out on the table, and his snake moves through the gold and separates it into two piles, and then he scoots one pile back into his bag, and on the table is 4,755 gold pieces.
Okay.
He says, "This is your payment."
Thank you very much. And if we have come across anything else, we will bring it to you. And we may be back to shop.
That sounds wonderful. I would be happy to see you again, my lady and my lord.
Good day.
Good day.
All right, and they both awkwardly stare at you as you leave.
Staring's about.
Okay, so let's stick with Rokas and Icy as they travel down to the Bard's Tale. And you enter in. And when you walk in, there's a bard finishing up a song. You see a half-elf woman. She's up on a stage, and she's playing the end of a song, and she's singing, "On the sea of fallen stars," and everyone claps. Yay! Her singing was a lot better than mine.
Well, people clap, so I assumed that.
Okay, so you see this woman coming down. She has a fashionable red beret with a blue feather, something like you saw in the Lake District. And she goes over to the bartender and starts chatting with him. As you come in, a barmaid comes over and says, "Hello, I'm Sheila." She's a half-elf female. And she says, "Are you looking to get some ale or a place to stay?"
To both.
Oh, okay. So our lodging is 8 silver pieces per night. Would that be acceptable?
Yes.
All right, and I'll show you to the table. Were you looking to have a meal as well?
Sure.
Okay, that'll be 5 silver. So, they bring out some ale for you and a nice meal, and you're able to eat it while listening to a bard singing some nice songs. It's very relaxing.
Very nice.
And
So that's 10 silver for the 2 meals and 8 silver for a room.
I'll get the meal, you get the room. I'll get the 2 meals and you get the room. How's that sound?
That's fine.
yeah, and you're able to take your extra gear and stuff up there and put it away. The room has a sturdy door, and they give you a key. Has a nice, well-made lock on the door, so you feel like it's pretty secure.
Okay. I knocked off 8 silver.
I took off 10.
Now, do you have the 4,000 in gold, Icy?
I haven't put it in yet. I'll do that now. Thanks for reminding me.
Otherwise, Magnus is like looking at the gold, staring at the gold on his table, wondering why he didn't pick it up.
5,000 gold. Good thing we got a room with a good lock.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll call it there for tonight. And
Okay.
next time, you'll be able to go meet up with Harbek.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys have spent the whole session separate again.
And we didn't kill anybody.
Still hasn't killed anybody for 2 sessions now.
This will still be day 33 of summer.
Yeah, it'll be the evening when we start next time because you're gonna meet him at 7:30, I think you said. Something like that.
Sounds right.
Okie dokie
Very
then.
good. Alrighty. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Alright, bye bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.